Oh shoot, I left my
And
phone.
we are live. Hey, family. It's been a while. This is your girl, Sister Talk with Valerie, your chocolate smoothie. And I'm so glad to see you again. It has been a while. I have been on vacation, had some R&R time and ATL with my sister, but I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. And tonight is Viewer's Choice. And so I'm going to be keeping an eye on my Facebook page because we're going to talk about any topic that you guys choose. In the meantime, who I have here with me is my dynamic and wonderful, so loved sister, Terry Hatchett. Hey, Terry, how you doing?
I'm good, Valerie. I didn't get a chance to do a Facebook post because I don't usually do that. But I just want to say that I really, 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 really enjoyed you so much. It was just, I just want to say, love your family because you only get one, and it is really, really, it was really, I can't even express what a wonderful time I had with my sisters. And we hadn't been together in 3 years, and it was just joy. It was just so much joy. We had so much fun. It was like old times. And I
Yeah, it was
just,
definitely needed. We needed
yeah,
that. We need
yeah,
that.
we did.
Yeah. We did. I enjoyed you too. I enjoyed you. I enjoyed my little sister Ann. We laughed. We cut up. We talked about all the old memories and stuff. It was definitely. I said the same thing. It was something that I needed. It was something that I couldn't believe. It's been 3 years since we've seen each other. That
Yeah,
was crazy.
me either. Me either.
But we're
And
not gonna make another 3 years.
even longer if you count the time that we just sit down and bugged out like that. That we
I
haven't did
know.
that. That's been
Yeah. Yeah. And my bro, right? Mr. DJ getting loose. We was getting loose too. Yeah, it was
And
good.
yeah, I have to give my husband a shout out. I have to say that, I this is my third marriage, but it's like my first marriage. And when I tell you that my husband was cool, because I guess because my other marriages, we couldn't sit down and just act silly and do what we did and just have time together. And my husband allotted for that. He lets me be me as
Yeah,
crazy as
yeah,
it, and I really appreciate him for
yeah.
that.
It was good. And Vaughn enjoyed himself too. So he said, thank you so much. He really, really enjoyed y'all. So it is
Oh yeah, that's
viewers.
addition that's an
Say that
addition
you
to the
got
family. Hint, hint.
oh, you gotta talk loud. I didn't hear you.
I said he's the new addition to the family. Hint, hint.
Watch yourself. Watch yourself. All
I'll
right,
just
so it's
talk to him.
viewers' choice. Tonight is choice, not Valerie's business. Tonight is viewers' choice, and tonight is a free for you all, y'all. So I'm giving the opportunity. I wanted to check my I'm gonna be trying to
Hi,
check
Ma.
my hey ma. I'm gonna be trying to check my Facebook account while we're talking. But I'm gonna have to put you on silence mute when I do that because it comes through the phone. But Tara, I'm gonna let you pick the subject that we start talking about, and then we will move on. So it's free for y'all. We just gonna have I haven't been here. Let's talk with Valerie hasn't been here. So tonight is let's just talk about it. Let's just bam, put it out there.
Okay, well, one of the things we can talk about is how do you feel about Cosby? Because Felicia Rashid, she put in a comment. I saw that she had said she's so glad out and it was versa, and it's about time justice was served. And then people was very upset by that, and I guess people thought they was guilty. One person being, um, I think her name was Vivian on
The Fresh Prince, Vivian.
Fresh Prince of, yeah, the first one, not the last one, the first one.
Right. This is what I feel. I'm gonna tell you what I feel about a whole lot of stuff that people be tripping. Why is it that people can't have an opinion on something one way or the other? Like, I have a lot of opinions. People don't have to agree with me. That's how I feel about it. But I don't feel like we need to start stringing people up and cussing them out just because they have a
And
different
badgering them,
opinion.
exactly,
My thing was
and
this:
judge them.
Felicia Rashad. I don't think she ever said. And if I'm wrong, I'm correct. I stand corrected. But I don't think she ever said, "I believe he was guilty." I don't believe she ever said he was right for what he did. I think she was just happy that her friend, because they did have a relationship, home. And people get so like bent out of shape. You are not allowed to have a differing opinion than anybody else. Otherwise, people try to massacre you. What's up with that?
I don't know, but I definitely think that well, first of all, this media thing, Valerie, I think the media itself has gotten out of hand because
It's not the
the
media,
Bible
Terry.
says, "Judge
Who's
not,
the
yet
media?
ye be judged." Huh?
No, the media only puts it on. The people ask for. We are greedy. This country was built on conflict. We like to be in people's business most of the time, so you ain't got to spotlight our business. So yeah, the media does. They messed up. They do a lot of jacked up stuff. However, when things come out, it's up to people what stand they take on it. Why can't people have a different opinion about something? Why?
Well, okay, let me change that. Social media. Because when we talk about, we got to look at what we're talking about media. Because the news have been the news forever. Yes, they going to turn things. They like hot topics. They like the negative things. They like the fighting and arguing. But social media has also been like just like do anything and everything is just acceptable on social media. You badging somebody, you got to talk about somebody. Somebody can't live their life, their best life, or you got something to say about how they live and go into their household, like the Tabitha Brown. She made a statement about her life. She has that right. And then here come Wendy, oh no, girl, you can't do that. And people judging her. And again, I said the Bible says, judge not, yet
Well,
ye be judged.
right, but you know what? A whole bunch of Christians really judge. Kimberly Johnson, what's going on? She said, I'm so late. What are we talking about? This is Viewers Choice Night. We talking about any and everything, Kim. So whatever we want to talk about. If you got a subject, let us know. We'll talk about that. But let me say this. Wendy is an entertainer. She is a media mogul. She makes her money by starting mess. So yeah, she's gonna say something about anything she can say. She's not prejudiced in who she attacks. So she attacks everybody. And the fact that we all get all riled up about it is what is bringing her ratings and ching in her pocket, right? So I'm not going to say I'm so mad at Wendy because Wendy is doing what Wendy does. That's how she makes her money. But I do like how Tabitha responded. It was classy. She never got upset. She kept a smile on her face. She did all that. She said, "Listen, I'm riding the dying for my man. That's right. I'm going to retire my man. He supported me. I supported him." And we had a conversation about whether women believe it's okay to support a man. Again, that's a varying opinion. People have the right to feel the way they want to feel. Some women might say, "I never support a man. That's trifling." Blah blah blah. And some women believe that you can support your man, but support is a two-way street. You know what I'm saying? It's both people. Um, it's both people. Kim says, I don't think she thinks she is attacking them though. Wendy, I don't think she thinks she's attacking them either, Kim. I think that's just how she gets her bag. I mean, she's been doing it for years. I think because the other thing, Terry, just like I said, we are nosy. I want to be in your business. That's who we are. So all she doing is making a career from it.
Yes, some of us are. But I think that Wendy is messy. I think that
Get
Wendy
paid
is
to be
messy.
messy. That's what she get
Yeah,
paid to
well,
be.
and that's the problem. Speaking on us. as a society. That's the problem with us because we we support, we like the nosiness, the messiness, and you're right. She can get paid from that because we allotted for her to get paid. We don't like we were talking about Kaepernick. Okay, so everybody jumped on the bandwagon because it was something to be said and something it was notoriety at the time. But when everything died down and people jumped on the bandwagon and didn't even really understand what was going on or the situation. And then after it all died down, then everybody went their way. Still watching football and still supporting football, even though there is something wrong with that. And just
So
like the
you're,
president.
babe, you're coming in and out. Your sound is coming in and out.
Okay, give me a minute. Let me see if I can
So
fix
Kimberly
it.
says, I think she has made a career out of stating her opinions, and that is all she's doing. I think it kind of blew up because she put her opinion out on the wrong one. I agree. But yeah, that's what I think, Kim. She gets paid for stating her opinions, and sometimes she can be a little messy, but that's how she get paid. That's how she gets her ratings. She might, you know, stress something a little bit, make a little snide statement. Da, 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 that's how she get her money. In terms of the NFL, Tara, and what we will and will not do. So that's another thing people have varying opinions on. I feel like, when everything first started with Kaepernick, I was like, I just knew that we talk a lot of junk, but we ain't really, a lot of us talk a lot of junk, but we don't stand up for it. When you mess with certain things that we like our pocketbooks, our sports, because there's some. I mean, I'm not hating on sports, but I'm telling you what, there are some heart, like my friend is a die heart sports. I don't care if it's a sport where you dribble in
So is my
a teeny
husband.
weeny basketball. It's sports, he in it. I mean, like, in it. So people, that's like their bloodline. Like you that's like talking about their mama when you talk about taking away their sports.
So is my husband. My husband is a diehard sport. It could be anything from pool to football, basketball, golf, whatever sporty, he's in it and he's watching it. Boxing. So I understand that. But I'm talking about some power to the people, for lack of better word things. It's just like when the president Barack Obama became president. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I'm voting for Barack Obama just because he's black." Knew nothing about him. Knew nothing about what he stood for. Didn't even know about politics. And for me, that's just not good enough. And for me, it's just like if I said no, I'm not going to, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be voting for this person unless I find out about them. I don't know. It was like you couldn't say that when it came to Obama. Like, for instance, people say, well, he's the first black president. Well, if you did your research and you knew he's not the first black president, okay? And so I'm talking about how as we keep the media going, we keep the mess going because we are messy.
True that. I hate to cut you off, but I do need to make an announcement because I promoted that the CEO of Yada TV would be on with me tonight. I just want to say for everyone watching, please keep her family in prayer. Her dad passed away this morning, and so the reason why she couldn't be with me is because she's on her way to the Carolinas to be with her family. We will reschedule her being on, but I just wanted to put that out there because I did mark it that she would be on this morning. So keep her in prayer. But listen, the other thing y'all do is congratulate the ladies of the book club, Kimberly, and all the people from the ladies of the book club, because we are now sitting with the big dogs on Yada TV. And I'm so excited.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Kimberly says it may not be good enough, but it's a start, and we do have to start somewhere. Even though in hindsight he really didn't do a whole heck of a lot for Black people, we do have to hit. And that to me is a whole nother subject, because we take 2 steps forward and we take 3 steps back. This is a wicked country, y'all. This is a wicked world. And what seems like us taking steps really is not. Like, even now, God stilled us, and COVID came. He gave us an opportunity to see clear up. Those of us who see it every day, we were not shocked, but he gave the country an opportunity to see a couple things. One, how rooted and evil racism is. And then he gave us an opportunity to see what it's like when we're standing still. And then he gave us an opportunity to see the division that we have in this country with the race that was so close, it was ridiculous, right? He gives us an opportunity to see these things. For a moment, we sit still, and maybe some of us sit in wonder, and maybe some of us have drawn closer to him. But then we get panicked, anxiety, and tired of sitting still. And so now we're at like, okay, we just so ready to get back to normal, whatever that normal is, that we don't care. It's almost like we're missing a whole lot of points because we're so busy trying to get back to normal that we think everything is over and good. Everything ain't over and damn sure ain't good. And I don't think it's going to be good. Whatever strides we made as a result of George Floyd, in the wind. That's like, excuse my language, but that's pissing in the wind, because we still have a constitution that needs to be dismantled. Yes, that's what I said. That's what I mean. It never included us. We still live in a racist, systematic racist society that Black people are not doing anything. And we still have this infighting that happens within our own culture and with other cultures that look like us. Because when you talk about other cultures, the Latino culture, when you talk about the Southeast Asian culture, we are so a part of so many other cultures. We still haven't figured that out. We still haven't figured out how to stop killing each other. So we ain't really we ain't doing nothing. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. We ain't doing nothing. Hey, cuz.
Hey, Cece. Love you, cuz. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally 150%, 200% agree, because we got a lot of work to be done. But here's the thing. It's hard to say, let's start. Where do we start? Because we gotta wake. We need a lot more people to wake up. That the bottom line is, there's so many people asleep that it's hard for us to even begin to try to put something together, because so many people are asleep. And not
explain what you mean by asleep. Maybe people are not recognizing that they are asleep.
Okay, good example is the president. When Obama was president, a good example is the people the Black churches that supported Trump. A good example. That is a perfect example. They supported Trump. They boldly got on and showed their faith and supported Trump.
Well, don't people have a right to pick the political party that they want to follow?
Of course they do. But what's best for us as a people? Was Trump really good for us as a people?
Well, maybe they felt like Trump was good for America. Maybe that's how they felt.
Okay, listen. So let's talk about that. So if he's good for America, what makes America?
That's a good question. What makes America? But so here's the thing. People do have a right to their political party. And people are going to vote for what their interest is. So if people are concerned about if they're rich and they're concerned about keeping their money, if they are the CEO of a banking corporation or some of these healthcare or pharmaceutical companies, and you're talking about trying to tax them and take their money, then they're going to vote for the candidate that's talking about keeping their money in their pocket. If you are concerned about climate change and you have a candidate that's talking about ending climate change or continuing climate change, you're going to vote for the candidate that's on your favor. There are people that felt like there were bigger issues than the black, quote unquote, systematic racism situation, so they voted for the candidate that fed whatever their heart was, whatever motivated them. My thing is this: truly, as black people, if we're talking about coming together as black people and voting for things that affect us, then we need to start in primary elections. We need to start with voting for who's going to be our council people, our legislations, because those are things that directly affect us. Where we live, highways, housing, those kind of things happen on that level. But a lot of us are not educated about the importance of voting in local elections. So we get done to us what gets done to us. You know, if there was a lot of us voting during redlining, do you think that would have happened? No. But we so busy trying to put Obama in office thinking, all right, fix everything. It don't work like that. He can't fix everything.
Exactly. Again, that's woke. Again, they wasn't woke enough to say, let's not look at the color of his skin. Let's look at what he can do. Let's look at, do we know anything about politics? Let's find out about politics. Woke means to know that he wasn't the first black president, and that was not what was important.
Well, before I answer that, let me get Mom's and Kimberly's comment. Mom says, "Good for white America." Then she says, "Absolutely, Val." Kimberly says, "Much as I hate to say it, Trump was what God wanted at the present time. So, as horrible of a president as he was, he had a purpose. If you people don't wake up and pay attention, one day there will be much worse in the form of the Antichrist." I agree. I agree, Kimberly. I think, and that's the other thing, Terry, as much as, and somebody had to remind me of that, right? As much as I used to, because I called him the ridiculousness, and as much as I used to say how much I hated Trump, I had to be reminded that that was in God's purpose, that he served a purpose for God. So sometimes we have to be careful of the things we see and give the enemy credit for it. Because sometimes, just like you said, the enemy be somewhere else. He don't even be in our situation. We bring him all up in our situation. Oh, this was the devil. Nah, it could have been God. He could have been trying to show us something. So I agree with you, Kimberly, that I think that God, just like he set us, that he shut the world down, and he put this man, he allowed this man to be president. Because there is nothing, family, that happens that God does not have to give permission to. Don't get it twisted. It's still his world. So whatever you see, you might say, oh my God, that's so terrible. Why does that happen? Our ways are not God's ways. We can never understand his purpose, but trust and believe there's a purpose.
True that, and I agree. But then that's a part of being woke. People are not even awoke enough to realize that.
Well, we always say, so mine says, indeed, God is in control. He allowed Trump to be elected to show this land just how far America the Great has slipped and fallen. Trump's lifted America's skirts and showed the world her nakedness. Yes, he showed that booty boo. And Eleanor said, people give the devil too much credit. Absolutely. And Sicilian says, so true. Amen. But let me say this about being a woke terror. I do believe, and maybe I'm just being optimistic, but I believe that people do better when they know better. So I say that people need to vote in local elections, but I say that to people. I say that to my friends. I say that to people I know, because some people honestly did not know that the purpose of local elections. They really believe that all I have to do is elect this president and he's going to take care of everything. That's called miseducation. You know that there are certain forms of education that this system doesn't want us to have. So when we are aware of things, then we have to share that. Just because we don't have a large platform, we could share it on platforms like this. We could share it with our family members. We could share it with our friends, our co-workers. We could share the knowledge that we have. We might not be able to make, this big, huge, booming change, but we can start with where we are. And in terms of people being awoke, like I said, some people don't even realize that they're not awoke. They just think, look, some people is trying to get from day to day. I'm trying to eat today, trying to keep a roof over my head today. I'm trying to, get a work or get a job or get my unemployment today. So I ain't got time to be thinking about what's happening over here with the presidency and da 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 da. I'm just trying to live today. So for those people, the fact that everything that happens impacts them and they don't know that string, one, we have to learn how to help people. This called social determinants of health, but it's also social determinants of life. We got to learn how to be there for people where they are and share it as they can take it. Like feed it to them as they can take it and do the change we can as we can in the power that we have. Miss Hatchett.
I agree.
And
I
continue.
agree. I agree, but there are just some people who I don't think it's a matter of them not knowing. I think it's a matter of them just jumping on the bandwagon. And I just feel like we got to stop jumping on the bandwagon unless we know what is real and what's not. And if we don't know something, don't just jump on the bandwagon because it doesn't help. It just sits us back. And jumping on the bandwagon can be anything from electing a president just because he's black, or like the Wendy Williams thing, opinion and being messy. All that is jumping on the bandwagon in some way, shape, or form, and we need to stop. And trust me, I see that some people are educating, like Tabitha. I always go back to her because I am so impressed on. I believe that the way she said it and the way she spoke, she had to wake some people up or at least nudge some people. And so
I do
it's
too.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, I do too. I think that one of the things that struck me about what she said was that she came from a place of love. And I think in this day and time, with there being so much chaos and conflict and anxiety and anger and people trying to get their bag and people trying to get, all these other things, that love is not a conversation that we really have anymore. Like, what is love and what does love look like? And how do you lead in love? And how do you move in love? Because I believe that love is so close to God's heart that for me, like that's always my desire. Like I have a plaque that from Second Corinthians that talks all about love, and I wake up with it. It's in my room, and the reason why it's the first thing I look at is because I need God to remind me what love looks like. Because I'm just human like everybody else. Somebody pisses me off, I'm ready to cuss. I'm ready to cuss some stuff out. But then I wake up and I'll be like, okay, love is patient, love is kind, love is not easily angered, love is not. And I have to say that to myself when I'm responding, because my flesh want to rise up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. And even in my relationships, whether it be with my family, my daughters, whatever, sometimes I have to remember that it's not so important to be right as it is to lead in love. And that I'm not wrong or weak by leading in love and forgiving. And that takes practice. That takes practice. And I think if we led in love with so many, with our life, that we would have different circumstances, because even the Bible talks about, I only want two things of you: love me and love everybody else. And if we really and truly, like, that sounds so simplistic, but if we really and truly led with that intention, even though we are flesh, we wouldn't be killing each other. We wouldn't have we wouldn't want to have a government that was racist, or we wouldn't want to see people dying, because our love wouldn't allow that. But we don't talk about love.
Mom said something that's a bold statement. If everybody could remember this, God is love. And that's what we need to lead with God. And that's what Tabitha said. She said that, yeah, she said she's leading with love, but she said that comes from a place of God. And that's where, my opinion, we need to remember that, just like I always talk about on my sermons, is that it's not about you, boo. It's not about me. It's not about you. We could take ourselves out of the equation and put God in, we'd be in a much better state.
And here's something that's so Kimberly said this, and this makes a lot of sense. She said, I don't even think a lot of people truly know how to love, even so called Christians. And I think that if there was a lesson or if there was a course for us to take, we need to take a course in love, because we don't love ourselves. So not all of us, but a lot of us don't love ourselves. So it's difficult to love someone else when you don't love yourself. If you don't treat yourself well, if you allow other people to mistreat you, and a lot of times it's because of, I believe that we're born in love, but something happens in our life, whether we're offended, abused, hurt, abandoned, felt to be rejected, all of those things that happen to us as we are forming our opinions and thoughts and living in life somehow stay with us. And we give out a lot of times what's inside of us. So a lot of times we have to be taught what love is. And God is the best teacher of love, right? But if we don't have a relationship with God, there are people, I say this all the time, that don't even think that they're worthy of God's love. So if you don't think you're worthy of God's love, then you don't think you're worthy of anything. And I think the best way to teach love is to be an instrument of it. You do not have to walk around quoting scriptures at people and telling them they're going to go to hell and making them ashamed of their life. That's not leading in love, y'all. That's not. I'm talking to those faith believers out there. That's not how you lead in love. Love is an action word. It's a verb. It's not a noun. It's something you do. It's how you talk to people. It's forgiveness. It is empathy. It's all of those things. It's
Overstanding.
not a noun.
Overstanding. Isn't, you ain't gotta agree with nobody.
You
You
froze
just
up,
got
babe.
to stand. Am I back? Because you've been freezing too. Am I back? Can you hear me?
Yes. Uh-huh.
You have to overstand. I think people think that, again, people put it about themselves. I think that for them to, people got to be right for the first thing. And they feel like that if they love or forgive, then that means that they got to deal with them, or they got to be friendly with them. And you can love somebody from a distance. It doesn't mean that you have to be in their face to lead with love. It doesn't mean that you have to be chosen to love. It's just a overstanding of, okay, that's their opinion, that's them, that's how they are, that's fine. I don't agree with it, but hey, I'm gonna love you from a distance. I'm not gonna curse you out, get in your face, try to destroy you. I'm just gonna let you be you, and I'm gonna be me. And that's okay. That's leading with love, like Tabitha did. Pray for them. And I think that's where people get caught up of that. Somebody did me wrong or somebody hurt me, I can't love them because that means I gotta be a part of them. That means for some reason that I'm siding with them. That's not what love is. That's not what God is about.
But Okay, let me read some comments first. Eleanor says, love has led some people to do foolish things. Know the difference between love and obsession. There's definitely a difference. And Donna says, amen. But here's the thing, there's triggers. So you talked about forgiving people and loving them regardless. But if someone is wounded, that's what I mean about how a lot of times our past experience shape us. So if someone is wounded in an area, it's like an open wound. So that person re-injures that wound, and then it reminds that person of all of those feelings that was created in that, right? So, like, for instance, I just recently had an experience that, for a long time, I had these abandonment issues, right? So I've felt like I had grown and healed from those issues. I'm strong, blah blah blah. I'm here. I was in a situation with someone who is that they're very close to me, right? That I intimately, let close to me, right? A lot of people can't hurt me because I've grown to the point where, yeah, I whatever, I let it wash off my back. But people that are allowed to be vulnerable with can hurt me. So this person did something to wound me, open up a wound that I thought had healed. And you couldn't tell me the wound wasn't healed. But when the situation happened, I responded exactly like I responded the very first time that I was wounded in that area with that, oh, you hurt my feelings, that abandonment, that rejection. I went there. I went to a place of, what did I do? What did I do? All of those things that came from when that hurt was still there. And God had to take me through a process of saying, okay, Val, why are you so upset about this? Why does this hurt you so much? What is it that you're feeling about you about this? So I had to go through a whole process to figure out, oh, that wasn't even about what that person did. That was about them reopening that wound I had. Because at that point, it was difficult for me not to cut them out. Because when I feel like somebody's trying to hurt me or take advantage of me, I go to 10. Like it's almost like this protective thing, and my protection is lashing out. But God had to work with me and say, no, you need to figure out what it is about what they said and did that hurt you so much, and make sure, recognize one, that's that wound again, and so that, because I couldn't immediately respond in love until I could identify where those feelings was coming from.
I agree with that, and that's what I'm talking about because, like, and we talked about this when you was here about how you start with forgiveness, and if you forgiven somebody by if you get a chance to get even, or you get a chance to get talk to them, bring it back up to them or curse them out, whether you have forgiven or not. But it's, again, it starts with God, and it's not about us. It's not about you, boo. So those would be the questions I would ask you. Well, why would you get upset? So it's what was it about it? Because I would bring it back to you because like we talked about, I recently realized, and trust me, this didn't happen overnight. So I understand that it takes time, but it also takes having a relationship with God and understanding who He is. That my first ex-husband, for years, he was the devil, he was the enemy, he was the scum, he was this, he was that. And then when I when my relationship with God got stronger and I looked at it, I can now talk about him and even feel like that I wish I had had a conversation with him before he passed away, because I hold no harbor anymore. I don't. I'm I'm healed. Healing yourself. It's allowing that scar. That scar could be scraped, but you know that a scar can heal, and you'll still have that upper layer. But if you peel it back, it's healed in the bottom layer so that it don't bleed. But if it's not healed, when you peel that upper layer, it will bleed. So it's about taking care of that scar so that even if there's still that layer there, when you peel it, if it gets scratched or peeled by mistake, it won't bleed. So it's about that healing of oneself.
So mine says we are flesh and it is an ongoing battle. The closer a person gets to God, the more you want to please him. Look at King David. He was a murderer, an adulterer. And the Bible says David, was a man after God's own heart. I agree. I also think that, you and I are saying the same thing about that healing, but I believed I was healed. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of times we can think because we've gone throughout our day, our life, everything is good. Oh, yeah, that happened 20 years ago, child. That was the past. I ain't thinking about that until something wounds you deep enough to look to kind of prick that scar, right? Because sometimes we might have a boo-boo when we're younger. You can hit that scar 20 times, it don't hurt. That happened 5 years ago, it don't hurt. But if you dig it, or if you recut it, or you reopened it, then those wounds can come out. And that's what I mean about healing. A lot of times we do believe we are healed, but we can tell, like you said, by how we respond to something, whether or not we're healed. And the other thing is that I don't want people to think, because I know a lot of times when, we say that we are faith believers and we go through hurt, or we go through feeling unworthy, or we might feel sad, or we might feel mad, or we might feel wounded, or we might feel all of these things. Sometimes people can convince you that if you have emotions that you don't believe God, or you don't trust God, because you. This is the thing that gets me. Somebody could be laying bleeding in the middle of the street. I'm gonna pray for you. Ain't all you need to do. That's all I'm gonna say. Yes, you do need to pray for me. But sometimes, number one, you gotta understand that, yeah, we're human. God knew we were human. So because you feel a thing doesn't mean that you don't believe in God. He knew we was gonna feel a thing. That's why Jesus came, because he felt some things and say, hey, even Jesus was like, yo, and y'all forgive me, Ma, and those who are scholarly biblical folks. I'm gonna say it like this. Jesus said, I love you, you my dude, but is there any way we might, I can get out of this? I'm gonna do what you want me to do, but I'm just saying, he came to be human so he could relate to what we're going through. So we shouldn't beat up on ourselves. We can't stay in that place, because that's the purpose of God. He tells us we don't have to stay in misery. We don't have to stay in feeling unworthy. We don't have to stay there because he loves us like that. But we don't have to crucify ourselves because we have an emotion. It doesn't mean that we don't believe in God.
Well, that's what we talked about with Job. That's what I talked about in one of my sermons, just a recent sermon, because that's what Job's friends did to him, and that's what his wife did to him. It was like, oh, you punish you like that. And what we must understand, John 10:10 says that the thief cometh not but to kill, to steal, and destroy. But I come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. What that means is God is telling us that trials and tribulations will come. That's just a part of life. We're gonna go through stuff. It doesn't mean that just because we get saved, or I talk about life after bent knees. I've been working on a book for years now. I'm going to get it done eventually, called Life After the Bent Knees. How some people feel like that once they have been saved, then everything else go out the window, and we're supposed to be these, walk through life, no trials and tribulations, and everything that heaven, just that's when we get to heaven. That's not now. We still gonna go through trials and tribulations. We still things, a just man falls 7 times, so we still gonna fall. We still gonna go by the wayside. But that's why it says that I come that they might have more life. That's why Jesus Christ died, because God knew that we would be of the flesh, that we would sin. And so he's just saying, I'm here. I'm here to lighten your load. I'm here to help. I'm here to make sure that you don't get it too bad or that I have to give back to you so that I can give you. So you're right about that. People are quick to judge about if I thought you was supposed to. I got that a lot when I became a minister. You're supposed to be a minister. You're not supposed. Who said? Where did you read that at? Where did that come from? What am I so? I'm supposed to be all tough now. Ain't nothing supposed to hit me now because I'm a minister. No, that's not true. Life happens, and I happen with it. So that's a good point, Valerie. I certainly do agree with that.
Kimberly says that forgiveness is a big part of what real love is. And I think we're lacking in that place. I do too. She also says each pair with faith requires an action. Absolutely. Faith without works. You got to do something. You got to do something. Just like sin. This might sound crazy, but sometimes when I think of sin, I think we are sensitive in nature. And that's everybody. Sensitive in nature. People say sin like, oh my God, they just cussed at me. Like it's something hidden, like nobody else does it. You are a sinner. Yeah, I'm sensitive in nature, but I'm saved by grace.
Amen. Amen. And I don't know how people can say that there is that only certain people sin. I think people there's a misconception where one sin is more than another sin, and there's a big part of there's a lot of people who feel like, oh, but I just stole a pencil, but he murdered somebody. Sin is sin, you know. Is the Yeah, you stole that pencil, but you're a thief. And that's one of the Ten Commandments. Both of them is in there. So there is no level.
Absolutely. So mom says forgiveness cancels the debt. However, it does not cancel the fact that a person is still responsible for his or own actions. People are reluctant to forgive because they think that the person is not held to the fact that they are still responsible for what they did. Amen. I like that. Right there, Terry, there's no degree of sin. I like that. I also, the situation happened in my life at one point to somebody else, not even to me. And I chose to forgive the person, right? And the person, somebody in my life, was very upset at me for forgiving that person. But what I tried to explain to them is that there was no right in what they did. They were absolutely and unequivocally wrong for what they did. I didn't forgive them saying, okay, you're right, and I agree with it. I forgave them for me because at that point in my life, there was a lot going on, and I didn't want to harbor one more thing. I just didn't. I just couldn't. I forgave a lot of people at the same time. Number one, because I need to be forgiven continuously. I might wake up tomorrow and, I'm talking all good and la 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 and about love. And I might wake up tomorrow, I don't want to speak it into the atmosphere, but something might happen that makes me need to have some forgiveness. I need that. So why wouldn't I give the same honor, um, empathy, whatever to somebody else? I know that some things people feel are unforgivable. I can't imagine if something horrific happened to, it would have to be my children. But I've seen people forgive people who have taken the lives of their children. That must be the greatest act of forgiveness there is. I can't imagine it. But something has to be in you that's of God. That's again about that love thing we were talking about. And it's not that now I've seen, people, there's a story of a woman who, someone had killed her child. She developed a relationship with them. She called him her son. She goes to the prison to see him now. They speak together about that. That's an extra, that's really a loving heart. But I
There was a
know
woman
that.
who actually took there was a woman that actually took the person in that killed her son and took care of him. So that is you know, that is a part. That's God. That's exactly mine. That and people. That is the example that we need. Mom said I had to forgive the man that killed my daughter and
That, that
her
her birthday is tomorrow.
happy birthday,
Happy
forgive us in peace.
birthday! Happy birthday, sis.
And so and that's what I'm saying. It's that type of forgiveness that comes from a place of God. It really, really, truly is. That type of forgiveness that we need to leave as an example so that people, Valerie, you talk about people really honestly are not woke or may not know, but it's people like mom who help us get to that place because they with watching mom and my husband because it through her doing that, then that trickled down to him and helped him to forgive and help him to deal with who killed his sister. So that's where we begin to help people. And that's how we open people's eyes. We have to lead by God.
We do, we do, we do. So, you know what? It's like 10 of it already. We have had a wonderful discussion. Viewers' choice. I think I'm going to do more viewers' choice where we kind of just pick the topic. But I don't want to leave here on Rejoice Untapped Music Radio, y'all. Every Friday at 7:30. Tune in. Untapped Music Radio is the bomb radio station. We're trying to blow up, right? So we play music all around the clock. And on Fridays at 7:30 is this we filter this talk show that we're having here to the radio online platform. So that's happening, and we're looking for more people who are interested, maybe in
We
having a
also
spot.
do a replay on Saturday. So if you miss it, you can do a replay on Saturdays at 6 p.m. if you missed the 7:30 show.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of things going on. I want to take Eleanor's comment before I talk about the things that's going on. She says, Sandra Bowles, that will be so hard for me to do because my children are my life. God bless you. And as we close out that segment of it, I want to say that, big ups to mom. You're right, Eleanor. I would feel the same way. But the other thing is that we don't know what we're capable of doing or how strong we are until we're put to a test, right? There are certain things that I might not ever be able to imagine or have been able to imagine. But when I look back over my life and I think things over, I know that I only got through a lot of things through God. You don't know your strength until it's tested. It's like a muscle. So mom is a testament of, number one, she had already been grounded in that love of God. And so when the test came, God knew that she had everything inside of her. A lot of things I remember a pastor saying, everything is not a test. Sometimes it's God giving us opportunity to exercise the things that are already inside of us. And that's what mom had an opportunity to do. Exercise the things that God had already put inside of us. And we just want to wish a big happy birthday in heaven to our sister tomorrow. And glad that she's an angel that sits around mom. All right. Kimberly says, I had to forgive my child for trying to kill me, so I feel you, Sandra Bowles. Yeah, so that's another thing. You never know what folks have gone through, y'all. You never know. You definitely don't know the story just by the cover of the book. You just don't know the story. So, Kimberly says, God bless you and may you continue operating that love and forgiveness. Eleanor says, God is still working on me and I pray for stronger faith and strength every day. So do we all.
And we're praying for you. We pray for each other.
Absolutely. Projects that's going on, y'all. Yada TV is a new streaming service, and they have picked up the Ladies of the Book Club Part 1 and 2, and I am so thankful to the God above for that. What I need y'all to do is share the word. you have to subscribe to Yada TV. I think it's like $5, something like that. But go on Yada TV, YADA.com, subscribe. You can find the ladies of the book club under web series. I'm super excited. That's the young lady who, Tara, who I was going to have on the show tonight. I'm going to reschedule with her. We have one more filming debut for Miracles of Life. And once we do our last filming, we're going to do it on August 1st. Then it goes into editing. Hopefully, the editing will be done within, hopefully, 3 weeks, maybe less. And then we'll be able to debut. What's crazy about that is that, God is something. He's so strategic. So this morning, sometimes I get up, when I get up, I do my prayer, or sometimes I listen to something. For whatever reason, he led me to this prayer app this morning that had Roma Downing on it, the producer of Touched by an Angel. He just was like, listen to this. So I'm listening to it. And y'all, let me just tell you, me and God have conversations like this, okay? I'm like, well, I don't want to listen to that. I was going to play my music. He was like, no, listen to that. And I tried to not listen to it. Like, you know how you try to turn. I was getting ready to listen to him. He's like, I said, listen to that. So I listened to it. She was talking about how she has this platform now where she does faith-based films. It's called, oh my God, I forgot the name of it. Something about Promise Keepers or something. But I went to her, it's on Facebook. So I went to her site, and God was saying, when you finish doing this series, because it's about faith, I want you to contact her, so that it's called Light Workers, because they're workers of light. They believe in faith and all things that are good. God says, when you finish doing this film, and I want you to reach out to her and tell her that you want to put that film on her network. And after that, I was like, God, you are so smart. I'm so glad that I didn't, that I listened, because obedience, y'all, is better than sacrifice. And I could be hard-headed. I know he be saying doing so and so, and I'm going to argue with my dad like a spoiled child. But I'm glad I listened, because that was just like a blessing. So that's happening. And also what's happening is that the ladies of the book club, a lot of people have been requesting a part 3 and 4 of the series, and we have written part 3 and 4 of the series. And after we debut, after Miracles of Life is completed, we're gonna go back and start working on Ladies of the Book Club. My sister and my bro-in-law, DJ Get Loose. I love my brother-in-law, y'all. I love that man. You hear what I'm saying? DJ Get Loose ain't nothing but the truth. Yeah, that's her husband, but that's my bro, right? DJ Get Loose ain't nothing but the truth. Y'all need to be tuning in for that. He doing all kinds of stuff. The Hatchet Chronicles comes on every Monday, y'all. Y'all need to check that out. What else is going on, Terry?
Okay, so we have Sunday morning, and I'm with my sister. I'm kind of be arguing with God too, but God has led me so that on Sunday mornings on Facebook and YouTube Live, I do Sunday morning worship with Minister T. Hatchett at 9 o'clock. Now, if you cannot get up or you miss it, you can hear it the following on the radio station, Untapped Music Radio, at 8 a.m. So either you can see it 9 a.m. live, or you can hear it the following Sunday, 8 a.m. on the radio, Untapped Music Radio. Also, my husband is I gotta say he is something else with himself. He's talented, very talented. He just finished a audio book. He did this background sounds and the music for this audio book. So that led him to ask him to do their audio books, the sounds and the music for it. So he is now available. So either IM me, I message him, call us if you have our number, text us. He's now available to do audio books. He's now doing audio books. Also, our book, from my rib, we're gonna that'll be finished soon, and we're gonna do an audio of that. And my book, The Power of God, we're thinking about making that, doing an audio. And so my sister has her books, and I don't want I don't want it to be forgotten that we have that anthology out, the the Corona Chronicles.
The
That's
Corona
still for
Chronicles.
sale, right, Val?
It is. It's on my
And your
website,
two books.
www.gen, Gen, word, WRD, .org, O-R-G. And I got to say this to y'all, Terry, before we go, because time is almost out. Me and my
And we
sisters are
are
doing some
also, as a family,
financial planning. Y'all, when I open my mouth and say the word
yes.
finances, all my friends and loved ones get ghosts. Oh no, she's talking about finances. Stop it. We talked earlier, and I'm not going to have this conversation right now because we're at the hour, but I'm going to give y'all something to leave with. Plan in your mind. Black people, stop getting all bent out of shape when somebody want to talk to you about money. Ain't nobody saying we want your money. We saying we all want to have more money. We don't want your money. We want more money. Okay. So if somebody talk, because I know, listen, the people I know, maybe it's people out there, don't know how much money it's going to take for them to retire. A lot of them don't have wills. A lot of them do not have any kind of life insurance. A lot of them don't know nothing about investment. Stop lying. A lot of y'all don't. But if somebody come to you and say, well, just come and listen to this. Just listen to it. Get some information on it. I'm busy that day. I got to go to the chiropractor and have my back cracked. Come on. Cut it out. We
Not
as a
only that,
people,
let me
y'all
add
gonna
to
get me
that, Valley.
started.
Just because you might have money, but that don't mean you know how to manage the money you have. Because I know a lot of people had money and they managed it,
Exactly.
so they so I'm just saying. Plus, I also do credit cleanup
Exactly.
and help you start your business. So you need to get with us. We listen. We just trying to help you. Help
Right.
us, help you.
We helping each other. So when you see something that says, "Hey, y'all interested in having a conversation or listening to a workshop?" Free. The workshops are free about financial counseling. It ain't gonna hurt to say, "Well, let me just see what it's about. Let me tell somebody that this is what they're doing." That's not gonna hurt. That's how you support. That's what support looks like. That's what us coming together looks like. That's what us growing upward together looks like. And that's all I gotta say about that. We are at the hour. This is your girl, Sister Talk with Valerie, your chocolate smoothie. I like that chocolate smoothie thing. And I'm on Untapped Music Radio, y'all. I'm on Untapped Music Radio. We just did a promo for Untapped. That's the baddest radio station in the world. Check it out, y'all. We need to Terry, after we get off this, we're gonna post the link for Untapped Music Radio. You hear old school music. My bro DJ Get Loose be on there. Other DJs be going on there. And of course, your girl, Sister Talk with Valerie, 7:30 is on Fridays and a replay on Saturdays is on Untapped Music Radio. That's what it is. So have a good night. We love you so much. I love you so much for coming on with me. I love you
I
so much.
love you.
And thank you for being, I have to say this, you were the best host in the world with when me, well, me and my friend was there, and she was I was getting on her nerves so bad, y'all. But she was the best host in the world. I was like, cook for me, clean up for me, do this for me, like I was the little sister, and she and my other sister Ann took good care of me. So thank you, and my bro.
I love you, and I miss you already.
Oh, I miss you too. All right, y'all. Have a blessed rest of your day. Stay up.